what you think of the goaltending on both sides?
Well, I mean, both goalies played it, very well. Obviously, Fleury had more action and, had to be a little more on his toes. But those are tough games for Uli as well when you don't see shots for a while and then you come down and you got DeBrincat or Kane ripping one from the slot. So, like I said, I thought, every goal was a good goal. We were just finally able to get one in overtime there to win 3-1.
Your view and opinion on the interference call?
Well, I didn't like the call at all. I mean, I've watched it 10 times, and I still don't see where there's interference. I see their guy going into their goalie. I think Smitty might have touched his blocker, and that's a might. And that was before the shot. It didn't affect his ability to play the position, in my opinion. Thankfully, we got the kill. Get a chance to win it in overtime. But like I said, I thought it was a good goal all day long.
They wash it out. They wash it out on the ice and play on the ice level. Typically, they're not going to reverse it. Right?
And you're right. And typically, I wouldn't challenge it with 5 minutes to go. But I just thought it was so obvious that it was a goal that they just mistook maybe Smitty for their guy who slid into him, their own player, 61. And we didn't affect 61's path to the goal. He kind of turned and pivoted and lost his footing. And so for me, I just thought that's one they would. The National Hockey League's always looking for more offense, and I thought that was certainly a good goal. And I imagine at some point make a phone call to find out what exactly they saw, but I don't think it'll matter, to be honest with you. I discussed it quickly with the ref after, just what he thought or how the process was in a cordial manner, one of the officials, and he kind of talked me through a little bit of their process. I don't want to get into it all, but at the end of the day, it didn't hurt us.
What was the chair like on the bench after that within the guys?
I thought we were fine. I mean, I think they know that there's times you have to go to bat for your team on those calls, and that was one that with that much time left, and like I said, it wasn't a guess. I honestly, and I consult with Bob up top, and we both felt the same way. So, but good job them getting the kill. I think sometimes you have to make those calls too, depending on if their power play had been really hot. I think our kill was good against them, so you sort of have confidence in them to get it done as well.
You get nearly 50 shots. The guy's hot in net. Any quibbles with how you attacked today?
Well, I think our power play, we could have got a little more. Our shots were coming from the outside. They play a tight box, so we need to get more from the middle, a little more movement. Rebounds coming straight at us, not going to the side, because whatever he stopped, he seemed to see tonight. Or whatever he saw, he seemed to stop. So maybe a second chance, like Bergey's goal. I mean, we had to take 4 or 5 whacks at that thing. The last one was obviously a high-end play. So that would have been a point that we talked about in the locker room. Maybe a few more shots from middle as opposed to the elbows. Got a few. But 5-on-5, no, I thought we did a good job, Kevin. We're trying to get to the inside and take the shots there. I thought we had some good slot looks. We had some around the net. He was just good.
Taylor had a near scary moment. I think it was on
Bergey's goal, yeah.
Skate just in overtime comes through with the assist. Just how satisfying was that from a coach's perspective?
It is. I mean, he's been playing hard for us. I mean, he's around the front of the net in that power play, and he's been a good part of it. Our power play statistically is one of the better ones in the league, and he's now become one of the 5 guys that's a regular on it and doing his job. So that's a little bit of the dirty work. Thank God it wasn't more serious, because when it is a skate, you never know. But he was able to continue to play, and he's been good in overtime, especially with Pasta. They have a little chemistry. Even though neither one's a center, you got to be careful you don't ice the puck. Then you're stuck with a guy, that typically hasn't taken draws. So that's the risk. But they do play well together and they make plays.
You guys are in quite a role, actually. I mean, the way the playoffs are shaking out the East. Chicago's giving you a hard time twice in a week. Any explanation for why they?
I don't think there's any easy games in this league, and I know if you follow our team, I mean, a lot of these games we've been in are tight. We had one in LA that went our way where pucks went in, but we're not filling the net on a regular basis. We do defend well most every night, but there's a lot of close games, which I think in the end, it's not a bad thing. You get used to playing in these games because, if you're going to go anywhere in May, you're going to have to be comfortable in them. So, and I think tonight, I thought Chicago gave us a tougher game up in Boston. I think tonight, give them credit for hanging around, but I think their goalie kept a minute early, to be honest. So I can't sort of be upset with our team because, goaltending's good in this league, and this happens. So every couple of weeks you'll have a game like this where, the guy you're playing against is rock solid. You got to find a way to win. I'm just glad we got the 2 points against a guy that had a really good night.
That's as sharp as Linus is looking to quarterfinal. What caught your eye just about how he was?
He was under control. He seemed square to all the shots. When you're on the bench and you see pucks go by, he was tracking them well. Fluto, I thought, was ready to recover. They don't take a high volume of shots, or at least that wasn't their strategy tonight. I think they were trying to, run some backdoor tips. Once they got puck possession in the O-zone, some high movement, looking for some different looks. But he was able to track it. He was out playing it, which he typically would, but he seems more comfortable. And so all those little things to stay in the game, I think, help a goalie when you're not seeing a lot of shots. And then obviously the timely save on the breakaway was a Doc in the second period. I mean, that's it's 0-0 and we're pushing, all of a sudden they're in a breakaway. Like, that can be deflating. So those are the moments when you outshoot a team by a lot, and the goalie that gets the 15 or 16 shots, you forget about some of those saves, and that was a big one for us.
3-on-3 is a whole different animal, but you've wanted more punch from the back end. Grizzly gets the goal. Is that think he's there as a product of you wanting more?
Well, I think he's a smart player, just saw the open ice, right? I think we were heading up the other way. All of a sudden, like a lot of 3-on overtime stuff, things can happen in a hurry. You start to go back, all of a sudden I think they thought we were leaving the zone on one play, and all of a sudden you turn back and you're attacking a forward. Someone's left town to maybe change. So it's a different thing. I think he just found the open ice, Kevin, to be honest with you. He saw a seam. I think when you're in 3-on-3, you'll find the D around the front of the net. There's just so much movement, and I think you have to be interchangeable parts in that.